Hi there. Welcome back to my kitchen on this lovely night before Halloween. Especially since we've got Halloween coming up, I felt like cooking up a dish that is actually a traditional Halloween dish, although it's European and as such they call it Samhain, and it comes from jolly old Ireland. So while you might expect this on St. Patrick's Day, this is actually a dish that was made for Samhain. And so here we present Colcannon, which has a lot of boiled cabbage in it, yes. However, underneath this, we have a whole bunch of potatoes, along with some spinach as well, and some onion. This is why I like to call this extreme mashed potatoes, which we will be getting to in just a moment. Possibly my favorite Dutch oven, although I think you could say they're all my favorite. Now, as mentioned, what we have here is a whole bunch of cabbage and potatoes, and also some spinach and some onion underneath as well. However, there's also a secret ingredient that's going to go into this little extreme mashed potatoes, and that is sausage. Got some nice cooked up sausages here, cooked up in lucky number 7, a gate marked skillet. That's really going to flavor this up, and that's why we call this extreme mashed potatoes. So now let's flavor this up the way we would flavor up the best mashed potatoes. And that means, of course, throwing in a lot of butter, some cream, some parsley. As you can see, I'm eyeballing it. Some basil. And of course, some black pepper. There we go. Now comes the fun part, and maybe this is why they do this on Halloween night. Here comes the mash. He did the monster mash. Ah, yes. My favorite masher here. I guess you could say, dude, I may be compensating for something with this. Well, as they like to say, there's an interesting little story behind this. In that, like a number of people, I had one of those cheap plastic mashers that came from, I don't know, maybe it came from Walmart or a dollar store or something, which of course broke. And I got another one, and it broke. And I finally was determined I would get myself a real heavy-duty masher, like maybe the kind they use in restaurants. So, went onto Amazon and found a nice masher here with a wooden handle and everything. One that I figured should hold up for a while. And it was also pretty cheap. It was, I think this thing was less than $10. When it arrived, I was shocked to see how big this darn thing is. It was much bigger than I anticipated. However, it does its job, and it does its job well, so why not? We've got ourselves a heavy-duty masher here. And now you can see why, even though there's a lot of cabbage in this, you can call this extreme mashed potatoes. In fact, the ingredients here are, all you have to do is wash and cut up 7 russet potatoes. 7 because 7 is, of course, a lucky number. Nice magical number for Halloween night. To that, you sprinkle it with a dash of kosher salt. And from there, chop up an onion. A small onion will do. After this, I like to throw in about 6 ounces of spinach, fresh spinach, which goes well with this. And finally, cut up half a head of cabbage. You don't have to cut it up very fine. You place the cabbage on top. Fill the pot about halfway full, maybe a little more, with water. Bring it to a boil and boil it. Because as they say, Irish dishes are pretty much known for just boiling the heck out of it. And Colcannon is probably one of the most typical and famous Irish dishes. Yeah, I could get into corned beef and cabbage actually being American, but we'll talk about that on St. Patrick's Day. So yes, all you really do is boil it up and mash it together. And here is where we add the additional ingredient. As we said, sausages. Yes, we actually mash up the sausages and mix it all together. So that will really flavor this dish of mash. Yeah, I know. Everyone plays the monster mash on Halloween. That's why I was thinking of a completely different monster tune that is much less well known. I posted it on my Facebook tonight. Screaming Meemies from Planet X. I learned that one back in the days when I was a subgenius. And I met and befriended one person who called himself DJ Shaver. Had one of the most wonderfully weird collections of unusual and rare music that you have ever heard. Believe me, when people say they have weird music, they have nothing on this guy. It's got a nice green color to it, both from the cabbage and the spinach. It means there's no reason why you couldn't also make this on St. Patrick's Day. Or in fact, any time of the year, because quite frankly, once you taste this stuff, you will likely be coming back to it again and again. And what's more, by telling your kids that it has sausage mixed into it, they should be likely to eat this. I mean, while most kids love mashed potatoes, they would probably go crazy over mashed potatoes and mashed sausage. You don't have to tell them about the cabbage. And yes, you can use your favorite sausages with this, whatever type you like. I'm using Italian sweet sausages. If you were actually in Ireland, you would probably be using bangers. And yeah, if you want to use a seasoned or spiced sausage or even chorizo, feel free. After all, it's your dish. Although chorizo is kind of tough and may not mash very well. With that, I do believe we are done. At this point, traditionally, smooth this out a little bit. Put it well in the center. And add still more butter. And with that, we have a pot of Irish Colcannon made for Samhain. And I hope it's something that inspires you to give it a try, because once again, it's very easy, very tasty, and not really expensive either. I mean, after all, it's just potatoes, cabbage, an onion, some spinach if you want, and some sausage. You can use bacon and or sausage. You can use all sausage like I did here, all bacon, a combination of the two, or pretty much any other kind of meat you like. And once again, I do hope you enjoy it. Have a good evening, everyone. See you tomorrow. Happy Halloween.